It's time for me to give my predictions for UFC Atlanta. Usman versus Buckley. I'm going to give you my full card predictions, starting from the beginning of the card, working my way all the way to the main event. Maybe a few betting insights here and there. Let's get into it. First of all, on the card, we got Jamie Lynn Hoare versus Vanessa Dumopoulos. I met Vanessa Dumopoulos, so I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to be an asshole, but going with Jamie Lynn Hoare. Yeah. Upper weight class? Yeah. She already wasn't. Yeah. We're going Jamie Lynn Hoare. Moving on, we got Phil Rowe versus Angelosa now. I feel like Phil Rowe's getting too much love, and I think that's because it's been a minute since we've seen Phil Rowe. You know, the last few performances we saw from Phil Rowe, we were questioning, like, bro, should he even be doing this? Because he's gassing out on himself. He's not pushing in positions. He's not scrambling. He's not showing that dog in him. He's showing that he wants a pretty fight, a smooth technical fight. But when the going gets tough, Phil Rowe kind of wilts under the pressure. And for that, I'm picking Angelosa. I feel like Angelosa is going to be able to dictate where the fight goes. He's going to be able to dictate where he is in the octagon as far as range. He can be the one taking the center. He can be the one pushing Phil Rowe back. Phil Rowe does have pretty good striking early, especially early. You know, he hits hard. He's pretty technical. He's pretty fast. But when the going gets tough, when you start making it hard on him, and it's not pretty anymore, you got to bite down on the mouthpiece. He don't got that. I think Angelosa can force takedowns. I think he can force clinch situations. Angelosa has a brick for a head, so I don't think he's going to get finished. I think he's going to outlast and outwork Phil Rowe. I'm picking Angelosa, and I'm pretty confident in that, even though the odds are relatively close. I think it's like minus 150. Moving on, got Ricky Simon versus Cameron Smotherman. This is a tough one. Short notice for Cameron Smotherman, though. I would like to see him get a regular camp. I'm gonna pick Ricky. I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Ricky because I do think it's a. Ricky Simon has been getting stepped down in competition ever since, you know, he lost to Mario Batista, you know, and then he faces Javid Basharat, bro, in a fight where I'm pretty sure he's the underdog. I made money betting him, and that was kind of a step down in competition from Mario Batista. And then he knocks out Javid Basharat, but it was pretty competitive up until the knockout. And I think this is another step down in competition, even though I'm not trying to disrespect Cameron Smotherman. He's young in this game, and he has a very young career, even though he has 17 fights. But I think there's another step down in competition for Ricky, and I think his style, his Dollar Tree Marab style of a lot of chain wrestling, a lot of pressure, big, powerful shots will be able to be enough to kind of make Cameron Smotherman hesitant and not let his hands go. Picking Ricky Simon. Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa. Masuta Box Brada. Hailing from Peru. I'm picking Jose Ochoa, man. I'm picking Jose Ochoa. I think he's going to have the cardio. He's lightning on the feet. He's really dynamic on the feet. And that's where Cody kind of struggles. You know, his chin has been questionable as of late, but Cody, you know what he wants to do? He wants to come forward, put pressure on you, try to wrestle. I think Jose Ochoa is going to be okay in that realm, and hopefully it's a shoot to box thing. A lot of people say it. They get comfortable off the back throwing those submissions. I just don't think he'll be able to. I just don't think he's going to be able to do that, and I don't think Cody Durden's wrestling is as dominant to where he can just take him down and hold him down. I think if Jose does get taken down, they could be able to get up. I'm rolling with Jose Ochoa. I think he's going to piece him up. I wouldn't be surprised if I see a finish. I love Jose Ochoa. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shoot the Box. We got Malcolm Waymaker versus Chris Moutinho. And be honest, I bet you can't get Malcolm Waymaker. You can't get him. It's minus 2,000, minus 2,400 yesterday. I don't know what it is now. I bet the under 1.5. And a lot of people, and I think the line on that was pretty good. It was like minus 180, 170. And I think the only reason that line's not juiced as well is because when people think of Chris Moutinho, they think green hair, and they think he was able to take an ass whooping from Sean O'Malley, which is true, but Chris Moutinho has been finished early a lot. You know, I'm pretty sure he was finishing his next fight against an old man. I'm not remembering his name, but in the UFC. Now in the regionals, he's been getting some wins together, putting some wins together, fighting some nobodies, you know. His last fight, actually, he fought a guy that was pretty decent. His name's not coming either, but there's some 0-2s on that regional record. Malcolm Waymaker, I think he's from Atlanta, or he's from Georgia. He might not be from Atlanta. He's from Georgia. I think the UFC thought, who can we get in here to make Malcolm Wellmaker more of a star and kind of an easy night out. Chris Matino is very hittable, head on the center line. He's willing to go for it, which gets him in trouble. Malcolm Wellmaker hits hard as fuck. Picking Malcolm Wellmaker by KO. Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. These odds are crazy. And whenever I see odds like this on somebody like this, I don't even because I'm looking at the card and I'm like, okay, that might be a betting spot. That might be a betting spot. But when I look at this, I'm like, this definitely ain't a betting spot. And then I just don't even think about it anymore. But I am going to pick Michael Chiesa. I think he's going to be bigger. I think he's going to be stronger. I think he's the better striker than Court McGee. And this could be a boring fight where it's kind of a stalemate in the grappling exchanges and they're kind of forced to strike with each other on the feet. And in that realm, I'm picking Michael Chiesa. I also think Michael Chiesa has submission upside over Court McGee, even though Court McGee's never been submitted, I don't think. And I think he has about 9 of them to his name. I think it could pretty much be a stalemate as far as the grappling. Maybe we see a few scrambles, but it could be clinch, break the clinch, back in the center, shoot a double leg, get it stuffed, back up in the clinch, back to the center. I'm picking Michael Chiesa in that kind of matchup. Paul Gregg versus Rodolfo Bellato. Please stop. Please don't put him in any parlays this week. I mean, it is Paul Gregg back at 205 where he's not durable enough for 205. And the fact that he was able to go to middleweight so easily, he might not even be big enough for 205, which is crazy. He is 6'3", and he's pretty fucking shredded. But there's some 205ers who can't really make middleweight and be competent. You know what I mean? You get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I mean, Rodolfo Bellato should be the pick, right? I mean, if you're picking Paul Craig, you're picking Paul Craig because you think Rodolfo Bellato is going to do his regular game plan. He's going to try to take you down. He's going to lay in Paul Craig's guard. He's going to overextend. He's going to get caught in something. That's the only way you think Paul Craig wins. You don't think Paul Craig's going to win a decision. You don't think Paul Craig can win by KO. Rodolfo Bellato has more than one way to win, including decision, submission, knockout, all of that. So I do have to pick Rodolfo Bellato, but I think putting him in a parlay is a mistake. I think putting him in a parlay is a mistake because I feel like there's a lot of landmines on this card. And I don't have a lot of bets on this card, so I'm feeling like there's a lot of landmines. A lot like Jamie Lynn Horth is minus 600. Vanessa Demopoulos is bad, but minus 600 is crazy. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Michael Chiesa is minus 345. He's not that much better than Court McGee. I'm just being honest. He's not that much better than Court McGee. You know what I mean? And Rodolfo Bellato made Jimmy Crute look like he should have never left the UFC. That ain't good. That ain't good. Moving on, we got Alonzo Menifee versus Omar Sy. I'm picking Omar Sy. I see a lot of people saying Umar was in a little bit of trouble in his last fight. Alonzo Menifee is better than that. Alonzo Menifee is very experienced, and Alonzo Menifee could beat Omar Sy. Omar Sy is, I don't know, man. Look, a lot of people aren't taking into account that Omar Sy only has 11 fights. Omar Sy is very young in his career, and they aren't really taking into account that he's improving and he can improve from fight to fight. We saw him go to a decision in his career, and that's good to see. You want to see him to be able to know that he's not finish or bust. He can go and win a decision. You know what I mean? So when I look at Omar Sy, I see a younger guy standing at 6'4" with great range, big power, composure. And I look at Alonzo Menifee, a guy who gasses. You know, and if it ain't a big shot that he's landing, you know what I mean? I think Omar Sy is going to be able to keep range. He's going to be able to mix up the mixed martial arts and win this fight. I'm picking Omar Sy. And I think he was parlayable. He's minus 700 now. That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I got him at minus 500. But we got Mansour Abdul Malik versus Cody Brundage. There's an argument for Cody Brundage in this fight. But I just can't pick him. I mean, I can't pick him. Cody Brundage does have a one-hitter quitter. But so does anybody that he's fighting. He's not very durable. He is super athletic. You know, can defend himself in the wrestling. Can get his own wrestling. But at the end of the day, he wants to stand. He wants to bang. Chin in the air. I land before you land. That's it. I wish he would get out of that so we could see really how good he is. But the way he fights, that's just the way he fights at this point. So for that, I'm going to pick Mansour Abdul Malik. And if Cody does come out balls to the wall and it does, I think it's going to end in the first round. or early second. But if it does extend, Cody Brundage will gas himself out, and the takedowns will just come easier. Even though Cody, I said he is good in the wrestling realm. I mean, he did pretty well against Bo Nickel. He's like, come on. I wish he would take his fighting style, fight more smart, fight more patient. But he might be like a Michael Chandler, to where if he does fight that style, he's just even worse, and he's not even good at all, and he can't win. You know what I mean? So I am picking Mansour Abdul Malik. Cody Garbrandt versus Hani Barcelos. Cody Garbrandt is a popular underdog for a lot of people this week. And I try to warm up to it. And I don't know, man. Cody Garbrandt, the way he wins fights nowadays is very boring. 1 or 2 strikes a minute, footwork, showboating to get the crowd into it, get the judges into it, and just be fast and footwork fast and just not be hit. You know what I mean? But I think Hani Barcelos, if he is on the legs over and over and over and over again, even though Cody Garbrandt is a good defensive wrestler, it's gonna stop all that footwork fast, jab fast. Now we're dancing, we're having fun, we're getting the crowd into it, making it look like we're exposing this guy. If Hani Barcelos just in on your leg in the clinch, in on your leg, in on the clinch, in on your leg, in the clinch, and I could see Hani Barcelos do that. If not get a couple here and there. So while Cody Garbrandt is a lot of people's favorite underdog this week, I am going to be picking Hani Barcelos to beat Cody Garbrandt, because I think I think he will be. He's an okay striker. And Cody, yeah, he's the better striker. He's the faster striker, maybe even the more powerful striker, but he's not going to let his hands go. Because back in earlier in his career, whenever he did let his hands go, he would get in trouble every time. Every time. You know what I mean? So his last few wins, what is he doing? Throwing a jab out there. Slip, oop, dancing. Back, 1, 2. He's not really throwing power shots. And who knows, he might open up and throw some power shots against Hani Barcelos, since he isn't the most dangerous guy. Since he isn't dangerous on the feet at all. But if I'm looking at what I've been seeing, I am going to pick Hani Barcelos to beat Cody Garbrandt. Moving on, we got Emmett Shabazian versus Andre Petroski. Dude, I want to pick Andre Petroski so bad. But the thing about Andre Petroski is his submission upside is low. His submission upside is low. It's not really there. He's a control wrestler. He's a position over submission. He doesn't really try to finish the fight when he gets on ground. When he gets it on the ground now, if I'm being honest, he might not need submissions to beat Emmett Shabazian. Because in rounds 2, Emmett Shabazian in round 1 is going to be on. He's going to be looking good. He can KO pretty much anybody in that first round. If he lands, he's fast, he's on point, he's sharp. He may even be able to defend a takedown or two. But that style that he has, he fades. And when he fades in 2 or 3, Andre could secure a takedown. You know what I mean? And just lay and pray. Every round starts on the feet, though. But if Andre Petroski's laying on Edmond for round 2, by the time round 3 comes around, Edmond's still going to be gassed, and that power might be gone. I don't know, man. Either way, whoever I pick is going to be low confidence. I hate picking somebody when I know they kind of have to finish the fight early. But Edmond's a guy who can finish the fight early. But I am going to pick Andre Petroski. Low confidence. I'm not going to bet it, but I'm going to pick Andre Petroski. I think he survives the first round, stays safe. He's so hittable, though. He's very, very hittable. He's very hittable on the feet. He can't be lit up. I'm going to pick Andre Petroski. That's what my gut's telling me. I'm going to pick Andre Petroski. No bet on it. Thug Rose versus Miranda Maverick. If you watched the video I dropped the other day, you already know my pick for Rose. You know my pick for Joaquin Buckley. Rose and Buckley, that is the casual parlay this week, but I still will get into it. Let's look at Rose. Rose versus Miranda. I think this is a big step down in competition for Thug Rose. I think Miranda Maverick is closer to Amanda Ribas and Tracy Cortez level. I think those are really good fights for her. Very competitive fights. Then Aaron Blanchford or Manon Farrow. 2 girls who are championship caliber and can be champion. You know what I mean? We just saw Manon have a very competitive fight with Valentina Shevchenko. I'll leave it at that. And we know Aaron Blanchfield, she's getting better in each fight, and she's young as fuck, you know? And I'm still against the move up. I guess she got bored at 115 and wanted something to make her want to keep coming out there, you know what I mean? A fresh start, since she already won a belt twice at 115. But I still think she's a bit undersized for flyweight as far as muscle mass. But she's actually taller and going to be, she's not even longer. And she's not thicker. But I don't know, man. I just feel like she's undersized for 125, but she's going to be fast. She's going to be on. We watched this girl win the first 2 rounds against Erin Blanchfield. She lost that fight, but this is a 3-round fight. I think she needs to come out fast, urgent, and with purpose. I think she needs to be sticking and moving. Miranda Maverick's takedowns are not that great. And her control, I don't think she'll be able to just hold Rose down. Rose is good at getting her base, back to the fence, getting up. But she's pretty good at defending. She's okay at defending takedowns, I'll say that. And I think Rose, people don't think about it enough. Rose is a grappler in herself to where she can go get her own takedowns. If Rose comes out and get a takedown, I think she should come out and wrestle the wrestler. That'll fuck Miranda up. And that'll fuck with her cardio. That'll fuck everything up. I think she should come out and wrestle the wrestler. But I think she should come out urgent, be offensive. Don't try to be too defensive. Miranda Maverick isn't somebody who's going to hit you and knock you out. She's a girl that's going to take you down and sub you. So be very urgent. Be very offensive. I think this is a big step down in competition. And if Rose still has it, she beats Miranda decisively and looks up in the division again. But if she loses, it might be time to hang it up. But I don't think that would be the case. I got Thug Rose Namajunas. Joaquin Buckley versus Kamaru Usman. I'm going to be picking Joaquin Buckley, but I urge us to pump the brakes, man. I'm seeing a lot of people say KO in round 2, KO in round 3, KO in round 4, and I think we're underestimating the championship level experience that Kamaru Usman has. Now, it has been since 2023 since we've seen him fight, which is true, but he just showed us that against Khamzat Chimaev, he can weather a storm. And maybe it's not as accumulative, and you're like, yeah, it can, but once you get out of the first round, Khamzat, you can work your way back into the fight. That's true, but who gets out of the first round with Khamzat? It hasn't happened a lot. And he's submitting greats in the first round. Robert Whittaker, don't tell me about his teeth. Like, you still got him in that position. He was still on pace to 10-8 him. He was still on pace to take his back and be on top. It was looking very similar to the Kamaru Usman round, even if he didn't get the finish, if you see what I'm saying. I think Kamaru Usman, he doesn't really have a deep tool bag, you know. He has the jab, he has the 1-2. Straight shots, it's technical, it's clean, but he has the jab, he has the 1-2. It's very great. But I think Joaquin has a deeper tool bag. I think he's going to be able to chop him low. I think he's going to be able to throw a spinning back kick to the body. He's going to have looping punches. Now, Kamaru Usman might be able to beat Joaquin Buckley early on in the fight because we know straight shots will land before the looping ones with us. But Joaquin Buckley, very explosive, very fast twitch. I think he's going to have a speed advantage here. Kamaru Usman, he hasn't been in the cage for so long. So I don't really think he's going to beat Buckley. But I don't think he's going to get smashed in a Kobe way. I think we saw what he did to Kobe, and we're like, well, Kamaru Usman and Kobe, they wasn't what? Shit, Buckley probably does that to Kamaru Usman too, and I just don't think that's the case. Kamaru Usman's great at knowing when to slow a fight down, knowing when to take a position, knowing when to, you know what I mean, slow things down, regather himself, get back into a fight. These are the things, like these are some of the best things that Kamaru Usman was good at, and that's why he was champion. It wasn't because he was the best boxer. It wasn't because he was the best wrestler. It's because he had IQ and he knew when to pick his moments and how to get his way through a fight, which is why he can be competitive with Kobe and then at the end starch him. You know what I mean? So I want to pump the brakes on the whole finish. I'm picking Joaquin Buckley by decision. And I think by the end of this, at the end of this fight, I think it won't be, I don't think the narrative will be retire like it is with Kobe. Kobe, you suck, you'll never be in. I think it'll be more like, damn, I wish we got this back in 2023 when Kamaru was a little bit younger. Or, damn, that was prime Kamaru. Man, that would have been fun. You know what I mean? I think that'd be more of the narrative than just he shouldn't have been in there. Like it was with Gilbert against Michael Morales. Like it was with Kobe against Buckley. They look like they shouldn't have even been in there. But I think Buckley does win decisively on damage by decision. Like, comment, subscribe, share this to somebody I know they enjoy just like you did. You ain't got to go out and blah, 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 blah. I'll be live Saturday, man. Yeah.